Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video. And hey look, I know everybody and their mama, at least if you're the diehard Nintendo fan out there or somebody that just really loves playing Nintendo related games, look, we probably all been putting a lot of time on our brand new Nintendo Switch 2 systems. And for those that happen to not get their hands on it and still looking for one, hey, keep a vigilant eye out there. They're restocking these things fairly good though. But man, I've been putting a ton of time up in this system and just dabbling with, you know, old Switch 1 titles, obviously some brand new games as well. And look, this Switch does everything that the Switch 1 does, just a whole lot better with all the extra new features up in there, the camera, the C button, now that you have a built-in microphone and all of that stuff. It just adds brand new life into the Switch ecosystem that we're already accustomed to though. But in today's video though, I just want to take my time out of here just to talk about Mario Kart World, because this game right here, oh shoot, man, it's been the better part of a whole entire decade since we managed to have a brand new Mario Kart game. Look, I was playing Mario Kart 8 originally on the Wii U, then had to move over to 8 Deluxe on the Switch, and I was thinking at some point we should have gotten that brand new Mario Kart game on that system, and it just never came to fruition until the launch day of the Nintendo Switch 2. And I was like, man, thank goodness, because 8 Deluxe is still a good game. It's just it started to get a little bit stale. Like, you know, you start eating them same chips over and over and over again. It's like, you know what, I've been there, done that. I just need to have a different flavor up in my life though. So in today's video, I just want to give my overall honest thoughts of what I think about Mario Kart World. It's a whole new physics engine, all the new tricks and stuff you're able to do, the whole entire immersive world, the free roam, and everything else in between. So let's go ahead and jump up in it though. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. Mario Kart World for the Nintendo Switch 2. Look, you can just go ahead and just look at this box art right here, and you can just already kind of tell that, hey, look, you know what? Everything that's on this box art, you can just tell that this game is going to be on and it's going to be popping, because literally we're so accustomed to just picking a course and just going 3 times around the lap. Sometimes if it's a slightly shorter one, like a baby park or something like that, you used to going it maybe around 6 times at most or something like that. But, you know, they looked at the old formula that we have from, you know, Super Nintendo days to the Mario Kart 64, to your Mario Kart Wii's, your Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, to 8 Deluxe that we had on the Switch. And they're like, you know what, we've been doing the same song and dance over and over and over, but let's go ahead and switch things up. Let's go ahead and try something out just a little bit more ambitious. And they said, hey, instead of it just being, you know, just this course and just that course, we're saying, hey, let's just build a whole entire world and interconnect and put everything all together. Now, when I first saw that Nintendo Direct that was focused purely on the Nintendo Switch 2 and they showed off Mario Kart World for the first time, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, those courses look good. But then I started looking off in the distance. I was like, wait a minute. Can I see Bowser's Castle over here? Or can I see over here? Like, it looked like that was the original Mario Circuit, but it looks like I see a familiar course off in the distance, like that High Fly Sunday course. I was like, wait, hold up here. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And the moment that they said all of these courses are interconnected and you can literally start off on one course and race to the other, I was like, my mind was kind of blown partially. And I was like, wait, how in the world is that gonna work? Yes, you still can do your traditional 3 laps on a given course, but that's not all the sauce that you're basically able to do in this game. Because the main thing is, even when you're doing a Grand Prix, you might start off on one course and then you have an intermission and drive over to the other course. Now, I know when people were originally talking about and bringing this game up, they're like, oh, it's gonna be boring, it's going on these straight line paths. That is far from the case. There is a lot of meanders. There are some straightaways. You have some random enemies, like some Hammer Brothers chunking some stuff at you, throwing ice flowers or whatever though. Or you'll get like little weird obstacles in the course that might get you to boost up, speed up. You'll have some meandering turns and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that can happen between these 2 given courses. And then there was even some small callbacks to even some OG Super Nintendo courses that are just kind of sprinkled in between actual legit courses, and they don't actually have an actual name for it though. though, but people started to notice like, oh, those are like some small Super Nintendo teaser courses that they just kind of smacked in the middle of the world. So I was like, oh my gosh. So that changes the whole name of the game for everything, because when you're kind of used to your standard 4 different courses in each one of these given cups, now between the combinations of what you're able to do from driving from one course to the other, gosh, I think I did the math on it, and somebody happened to put it out there that, yeah, there's over like 200 different possibilities in terms of either just individual courses or a combination of driving from one course to the other. So literally, you could be playing this game for a good long hot minute, and then even after you play it for a good second, you could still find a combination out there that you're not accustomed to, that you literally it's going to come down to your overall Mario Kart skills to be able to get from point A to point B, and sometimes even to point C up in this game though. So I really love the fact that you get to drive all around in this immersive world. And speaking of immersive worlds, even if you want to change pace just a little bit though, not only are you just able to do your standard Grand Prix and stuff and do things of that nature though, but there's a whole entire free roaming world where you're literally able to just, kick back and just explore where your heart decides to take you, like whether it be riding on the ocean waves and stuff, which, gosh dang it, Nintendo, you better put a brand new wave race on this system. Looking at the wave physics and stuff like that, any course that requires you to drive on the water is naturally one of my favorite ones, because it's something about them water physics, man. Like, they look so good up in this game. I kid you not. Anyway, those thoughts aside though, you literally can drive around this open world. There's a lot of different things that you can do, such as like the P-switch challenges, which some of them are pretty easy. You just drive from one spot to the other. Sometimes you have to kind of do like a little mock-up race where all these other racers come into play. You got to do that. Sometimes there's a little challenges where you're doing like the new grind railing trick, or you have to drive off the side of the walls or anything like that. There's a lot of different combinations, get to point A to point B in a certain amount of time though. Like, there's a lot of different diverse challenges, and these P-switches are scattered all across the world, so they always will keep you a little bit busy. And then also you get like little question block panel things that you get to drive over, and then just try to unlock all of those though. You can drive around and explore the world, get a little bit of food here and there though, and unlock a whole bunch of different costumes. You can do that by unlocking it in the natural given race, or exploring in the free roam, which I think is technically a little bit easier to unlock all those costumes, so you can kind of do that as well. And then the last thing is, they're like these Peach medallions that are kind of scattered all the way across the world as well though, so it's just a nice little extra collectible thing that you can find out there as well though. So yeah, so that can kind of keep you pretty busy in the free roam and stuff, and you never know what you're gonna wind up encountering, or some weird things, or you can take some really good vista shots as well, with the screenshots or the recording stuff that you're able to do off of the controller itself, which I like now how they easily can get transferred over to your phone app, and then you can just share it to any social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever though. So I really do like all of that stuff within free roam though. But since this whole world is interconnected, they didn't just stop there. They did manage to add in a whole new thing with the knockout tours. Now these knockout tours aren't nothing to snuff at. You start off with a record-breaking 24 racers. Yes, you have 24 for every given course that you're going to be wind up racing in, whether it be online or local player games though. And you literally start off on one course, and you literally go through like almost like 6 different courses, just spanning across all of these different areas of the map though. And it's elimination. They knock out 4 people every time you hit a new checkered flag, and your goal is to basically win the whole entire thing though, and not get eliminated at any given step along the way though. And I really love the heck out of this, especially when you go in online games and you start doing this mess though, because it gets highly competitive and stuff. There's a little bit of strategy up in here, and I know a lot of people play this game casually though, but there are some people out there that actually manage to go through and play this game competitively. I am really curious to see some actual like land play, connecting like, oh gosh, would it be 24 switches at that point? My goodness though. But connecting 24 actual people, whether it be online or in person, and being able to actually compete in this mode and try to survive and get all the way to the end though, because like, my goodness gracious though, it is absolute chaos with 24 people. You thought 12 was already bad in original 8 Deluxe and some of the previous iteration and games in the series though, but 24, it's just absolutely wild. That middle of the pack though, it's so easy to be Mario Karted and get brought from like 4th, 5th place and get knocked down almost like the 15 or maybe it's like the 20th place though. But I love being able to start off from one point and go to the other, because I think Mount Wario on the original 8 Deluxe game, I love that course to death, because it was like you start off from one point, you do 3 different laps, but it's all new territory all the way to the very end. I was like, I wish we had more courses like that. And I guess they got inspired by that or something, because now you got all these different other combinations. I think they basically have like 8 different combinations of different knockout tours that you can do locally or online. And it just keeps things fresh, highly competitive, and you're always trying to race and try to make sure you get to that checker flag just to stay in the race, though, because you definitely don't want to get knocked out, at least not too early, though. But man, I really love the heck out of that mode, though. So yeah, those are your main things between your Grand Prix, your free roam, and knockout tours, though. They do have battle mode. It did manage to make a return up in this thing, though, but it kind of feels a little bit underwhelming, because literally I don't know why we only have balloon battle and coin runners, and that's basically it. I mean, shoot, even in 8 Deluxe, like what, you had the bomb mode, you had the piranha plant chasing one that's like literally like you're the police trying to capture people in cages and stuff like that. And my personal favorite, Shine Thief, none of those managed to make its inclusion into this game. Hopefully at some point we might get free DLC. I don't know, they probably will pay it, to be honest, though. I don't know, though, but hopefully they give us some kind of DLC update and manage to add those 3 modes back up in there, because I actually prefer all 3 of those modes in comparison to the original 2 being coin runners or just standard old balloon battle. Don't get me wrong, balloon battle is still an absolute classic, though, but I love the versatility that they managed to add up within those other 3 modes that they put in 8 Deluxe, though. Like, come on. But they don't have any like exclusive courses for it. It's kind of like you choose an area and you start off in like that main open world of Mario Kart world, and you just kind of, you know, duke it out in some kind of place like that, though. So I mean, it's all right, whatever, though, but it ain't necessarily like my go-to thing while I've been playing through Mario Kart World, though. Then you got to talk about some of the items and the characters, because in terms of the characters, look, we have a pretty wide, diverse cast of characters, and including like some redesign of some characters, like, you know, obviously Donkey Kong, because I guess like what we got Donkey Kong Bonanza Lily coming out around the corner from now, though. So obviously, yeah, they went and redesigned my boy up on that one, though. There are a couple of characters that are missing from like previous games, such as like Diddy Kong, Funky Kong. Like, bro, what are y'all doing with my Kongs, man? They were in 8 Deluxe, whether it be DLC or whatever, though, and they were in Mario Kart Wii, so I don't understand that. My boy Dry Bowser, look, he was like one of my mains in 8 Deluxe. I don't understand why he's not in this game, though. Maybe they'll add him a little bit later, though. But in lieu of leaving those characters out, they added in a whole slew of extra characters, because I guess with it being 24 characters at most, they're like, hey, you probably don't want to still race around with the same old characters. So it's like you have like a bunch of enemy characters. I was like, what the heck? Like everything from those pinata dude, I don't know what the official names do, though, but the dudes that like to do the hula and stuff over Mario Sunshine. Like, man, I don't really like that game, though, but it has a nice vibe about it, I'll just say that, though. But yeah, you got creatures like those, your Goombas and stuff like that, though. You get a lot of different weird Mario enemies, and there's a whole slew of them. Like, shoot, you can even race as a stinking cow up in this thing, though. Like the cow from Moo Moo Metals. Like, a lot of people have been repping that thing and been memeing that thing to there and back, though. Like, oh shoot, though. But regardless, though, whatever character you like from one of the previous Mario Kart games, or any of these new characters that make their debuts here in this game, though, there's a character out there for each one of y'all, though. And I do like the actual custom outfits as well, just to kind of versify things up a little bit, though, because I mean, I think my 2 mains in this game so far, it's Yoshi and Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. has like this pro race outfit thing that I like to wear. He's like, I guess, my primary main, but then my secondary one, I like the dark blue Yoshi, the one that was rocking some black shades. Like, he looked like he pimping out over there, though. Like, yeah, that's my other dude I like to go to as well, though. But yeah, really nice, good selection of characters. They just left out a few of them to kind of, you know, raise a few question marks, though. And in terms of new items, like, I'm glad they brought back the Mega Mushroom, man. Like, I like that quite a bit. And then also the fact that they brought in like an ice flower power. I was like, oh shoot, what the heck? And then shoot, even you can summon Kamek, who can literally transform all the other racers into like other random Mario enemies or allies or whatever, though. And that's technically how you unlock some of those characters. You have to be Kamek and turned into that in order to unlock those. It's a little odd, to go through and do all of that, and it's a little bit annoying because if you're trying to unlock a certain one and you just don't happen to get lucky every time, it's like, well, what the heck. But anyway, though, so they got a few things like that kind of throw some things off, so I really do like that. And honestly, it just feels like this game is a completely fresh and unique experience, though, and it's something I probably will never ever forget. And I've been enjoying all my time out of here, going through and playing this game. And then Rainbow Road, I'm not going to show any footage of Rainbow Road here in this video, though, but when you do happen to unlock Rainbow Road, I think that is by far one of the best Rainbow Road courses that we ever had in a Mario Kart game, point blank, period. The game looks absolutely beautiful. The fact that you're able to play it on a higher resolution than your standard 1080, though, that is just really cool to see in and of itself. And there's just a lot of charm up in this thing, though. And then obviously you had the two brand new mechanics. Like, yes, you're used to, just tricking off of stuff and doing, little tricks and stuff in the air and stuff. But they added the grinding mechanic as well as the wall riding and stuff. Now, look, if you've been seeing a lot of clips here on Twitter, there's a lot of crazy tricks that you can do and a lot of crazy, insane shortcuts you can do now that you're able to grind on either rails, side parts, or whatever, though, and also on the actual wall itself, though. Like, there's been some cool stuff you're able to do, like even in like the brand new Bowser Castle course, which I think that's one of my personal favorites as well, though. And it just makes speed running through these courses a whole lot more interesting, though. And it just has me kind of going through and watching different ghost trials and stuff like that, because like if you really want to master this game, you got to get good with the tricks and you got to get good with the wall grinding, which there's a lot of skill that goes up into those, where not how long you're going to hold it, at what angle are you going to pop off of it and trick off of it, or trick off of it to keep your momentum and speed. Because the more times that you can grind on rails or wall, or grind on the wall, then hey, you're able to actually keep up that speed and that acceleration throughout a good chunk of the course, though. So between all of that different stuff, between the two new tricks with the grinding on the rails, the walls, the whole knockout tour, the whole immersive world, and being able to travel from one course to the next, that just gave a whole new heck of a breath of fresh air into the Mario Kart series that I was wondering how in the world you're going to top off 8 Deluxe. For all sakes and purposes, 8 Deluxe is an outstanding and phenomenal game. We were just playing it for just a really long extended period of time. And then even whenever they came out with these interviews with Mario Kart World, with the developers behind it, this game was originally planned to drop out on the Nintendo Switch, but because of the nature of the game and how ambitious they wanted it, it just wasn't running really good on the Switch hardware. And they've just been kind of, kicking the can down the road. And hence, that's the reason why we see this as one of the first debut games as a launch game for the brand new system for the Nintendo Switch 2, though. So, yeah, overall, I've been enjoying a heck of a lot. I've been putting so much time up in this game, though. It ain't even funny, though. But I'm curious to see what are your thoughts of Mario Kart World down in the comment section down below. Just let me know all the good fun times and moments that you've been having, though. If you had some crazy, insane clips, I would love to see them as well, though. Just let me know how much you've been enjoying this game, though. And if you're one of the few people out there that picked up a Switch 2 but didn't pick up Mario Kart World because Mario Kart ain't your thing, nothing to you, though. Major props for sitting around and watching this whole video from start to finish, though. But like, dang, I don't know what you're playing, though. But there's a good amount of third-party games up in there. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, highly recommend that for anybody out there that's that needs to switch things up from just playing Mario Kart. A great, amazing game to play on the Switch too, though. But yeah, that's basically going to do it in terms of today's video, though. So if you really like this, make sure you're going to hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing, though. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, see y'all.